evening and good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, tonight, one more time, we focus on the human pain and the human struggle that is emerging because of the pandemic that our country faces. Yes, the number of cases have to go up as we open up. That is a reality we all had accepted and we were prepared for. Yes, the mortality rate remains low in our country in comparison to many of the other countries across the world, which means that the number of deaths are very, very low, especially for a country with a population of our size. But even with those low number of deaths, viewers, our system is crumbling. What the COVID pandemic has done is that it has exposed how our healthcare system in this country is in complete shambles. What COVID has done is to expose what we here in Mirror Now have been talking about month after month, year after year, that the healthcare in our country needs dire attention. What the current status has done is expose that how our governments have failed to prepare the healthcare infrastructure in the past 2 months, when you and I were in a state of lockdown, in the hope that when we begin to open up, we will be better prepared to handle the crisis. And what could be worse than the fact that we are not even able to give the basic respect to those who are dead, those who are dying of COVID? What could be worse in a country that claims that we have the lowest mortality rate when it comes to COVID, that we are not even able to deal with these many deaths? There are horrifying stories that have emerged of patients going missing and then being found dead, of bodies being handed over to the wrong families, of bodies being buried, cremated, dumped without the families being informed. What is going on in our country? Has humanity completely died? Or is our healthcare system in such shambles, in such a bad state, that we can't even handle it right now? Then imagine what happens if the cases and deaths were to go up. Tonight, I will bring you 10 cases, just 10. But I'm sure you yourself have come across such an instance or have heard that somebody that you know has gone through this kind of a trauma. These 10 stories reflect the reality in our country today. Story number 1 is from Mumbai, where a patient was cremated and the family wasn't even informed. They were just not told. He died, he was cremated, and the family never found out. Story number 2 from Hyderabad, where the body was given to a wrong family. A family was told, this is your relative who has died. They took this body and carried out their final rites, only to later discover that that person was not their family member. Imagine the plight of the other family. Story number 3, again from Hyderabad, where a woman actually found out about her ill husband's death from social media. Story number 4, an 82-year-old lady who was admitted in a Jalgaon government hospital went missing, and everybody kept looking for her, only for them to find her dead in the toilet 8 days later. For 8 days, nobody entered that toilet to clean it up, or nobody bothered to check what was happening. Story number 5 from Balrampur, where when people refuse to take a dead body, suspecting he may be a COVID patient, when the ambulance refused to carry him, the sanitation workers were forced to dump him in a garbage van, dump the body in a garbage van, while the policemen just stood there. Story number 6, in Jalgaon, where the hospital refused to help a family with the dead body, a family with no means, with absolutely no support system, was told, you manage it yourself, you figure it out. There are stories right now emerging, viewers, where people are carrying the dead bodies of their family members on carts. because there is no infrastructure available. Story number 7 from our national capital. A family member is lost to COVID and the family is handed over the wrong body. 2 people of the same name die and the hospital mixes up the cases. Story number 8 from Mumbai again. An 8-year-old patient goes missing only to be found dead later on outside the hospital. No one knows how he left the hospital, got out, how did he get out, for how long he was missing before he actually got killed on the road. Story number 9. Corpses lying right next to alive patients, just piling up right there in our hospitals in the national capital. And story number 10 also from Delhi, where a man pleads in a video for ambulance for his father's dead body. A COVID positive man who himself cannot go anywhere, stuck there with nobody willing to take his father's body for the final rites. These are horrifying stories. Sit and think about what those people would have gone through, what each of these families would have gone through, and what we are doing as a country. How bad is the situation with the healthcare infrastructure? Even the Supreme Court had to speak about it today. Now, let's begin with the first story, viewers. This is a heartbreaking story that we are actually getting right now. And in fact, I have a family member who will also be joining us. This is the story from Hyderabad, the one I told you about, where a family's frantic search for their relative ended up in huge heartbreak and disappointment when finally, after a detailed investigation, they were told that their family member's dead body had actually been given to another family by the hospital. And that family, the second one, had gone ahead and carried out the final rites. Let me go across to Hamid Ali Khan, who is joining us. Hamid Ali Khan बड़े भाई हैं जिनकी मौत हुई, उनको कोविड था, वो हॉस्पिटल में एडमिटेड थे, 2 दिन से मिल नहीं रहे थे, कुछ पता नहीं चल पा रहा था। और हामिद जी अब हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। हामिद जी, बहुत ही मुश्किल समय है। मैं आपका जो आपने जो खोया है, आपकी फैमिली के साथ जो आप लोगों ने देखा है, उसके लिए मेरे पास कोई शब्द नहीं, पर अगर हो सके तो हमारे दर्शकों को ये बताइए कि कैसे ये गड़बड़ हो गई, क्या अस्पताल वालों ने आपको कहा?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हमारे भाई राशिद अली खान लंग्स इन्फेक्शन है बोले, यहाँ मेहदीपट्टनम में क्लिनिक में बताए। उन्होंने एक दिन एडमिट करे, एक दिन एडमिट करने के बाद दूसरे दिन बोले इनको एक टेस्ट करना है, वो बड़े दवाखाने में जाओ, वो सेक्रेटरी के सामने है, क्या नाम है हॉस्पिटल का? हॉस्पिटल का नाम क्या है?
गांधी हॉस्पिटल?
नहीं, गांधी से पहले वहाँ दवाखाना बहुत बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है। नहीं, वो दूसरा। अच्छा, मेडिक्योर सेक्रेटरीट के सामने है, वहां पर एडमिट कराए। वो तकरीबन 3 घंटे, इतनी लापरवाही है हॉस्पिटल में, 3 घंटे तक हमारे पेशेंट को अंदर एडमिट नहीं करे। 3 घंटे के बाद बोलने को बेड खाली नहीं है बोले, उसके बाद बड़ी आजीजी मिन्नत करे, अंदर लेते बोले अब बेड नहीं है, वो नहीं है, बड़ी मुश्किलों से खैर मिलने के बाद बोले आप पहले पैसे एडवांस कर दो, 50,000 रुपए कर दो। अरे मतलब साहब अभी पेशेंट को क्या है वो तो देखो, आप क्या तरीका है देख तो लो आप। ठीक है हम देखते क्या है बोलिए आप। बोला अभी भी 8 दिन हुआ शुगर आके, लंग्स इन्फेक्शन है बोल के आपके पास भेजे, एक टेस्ट करना है बोल के, आप अभी तक कोई टेस्ट नहीं करे। नहीं अब टाइम होगा, कल करते हैं, हम एडमिट कर लेते हैं, आप पैसे जमा करो। तो अब हमारे पास इस वक्त 15,000 रुपए थे, जमा कर दिए। ठीक है आप कल और बाकी के पैसे ला लीजिए, हम ट्रीटमेंट शुरू कर दे रहे। तो रात तमाम कुछ भी ट्रीटमेंट नहीं हुआ उनका, एक कोई इंजेक्शन नहीं दिया। अब हम दूसरे दिन सुबह में गए, हमारे भाई जो राशिद अली खान थे, उन्होंने फार्मेसी से, उनका मेडिकल शॉप है यहाँ पर, उन्होंने तजुर्बेकार है, 30
हामिद जी,
जल्दी
हमें
कर दो,
आपकी
तो
आवाज नहीं
वेंटिलेटर
आ
पे
पा
सब
रही
कुछ चले
है।
आता। आप जल्दी जवाब दो।
जी जी, बोलिए।
आपकी आवाज आ रही, मुझे अब नहीं आ रही आपको? तो हमारे को वेंटिलेटर लगाते बोले, एकदम अचानक एडमिट करे, फिर उसके 4-5 घंटे के बाद बोल रहे आपको वेंटिलेटर लगाना पड़ता, बहुत जरूरी है, उसके 50,000 होते। सुन रहे ना आप? हेलो, आप सुन रहे हैं? मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
जी जी, बोलिए, आपकी आवाज आ रही है। जी
हाँ, वो पूछ रहा हूँ। तो वहां पर एक वेंटिलेटर लगाए, 50,000 होते बोले। अल्लाह, अच्छी बात है, लगाइए बोले। आप शुरू करें, उन्होंने लगा के फिर एक 4-5 घंटे के बाद बोलते इनको भेजना पड़ता, इनको वेंटिलेटर सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा, उनको गांधी हॉस्पिटल भेजना पड़ता, बहुत जरूरी है, आप फैसला कर लो। मतलब आपके पास नहीं, तो मेरे पास रहे तो 1 लाख रुपए लगते डेली, डेली 1 लाख रुपए का खर्चा है, आप गांधी लेके चले जाओ, हमारी बात सुनिए। साहब ठीक है, जैसा मुनासिब समझते तो फौरन आप बिल बंद कर दो। 1,10,000 का बिल बनाए, जिसमें से हम उनको 1 लाख रुपए दिए, 10,000 रुपए डिस्काउंट करे। इसके बाद हम गांधी को गए, वहां भी करीब 3-4 घंटे के बाद जब उनको पेशेंट का एडमिट हुआ, वो मेरे को मैसेज दे दिए कि आपके पेशेंट हम एडमिट कर लिए, ट्रीटमेंट शुरू हो गया। वहां पर अहमद नामी है कोई टेक्नीशियन, वो अहमद क्या करे, वो मेडिक्योर के उन्होंने वहां जाके पूरा वेंटिलेटर सेट करके फिर मेरे को कॉल करे, आप राशिद अली खान के भाई है क्या? मैंने जी हाँ भाई हूं मैं। तो उनका वेंटिलेटर लगा दिया, अच्छा सपोर्ट हो रहा। इंशाल्लाह 2 दिन में आपके भाई ठीक हो जाते, ऐसे कोई परेशानी की बात नहीं है। आप लोग घर जाइए, सब अच्छे हैं यहाँ पर, कोई टेंशन नहीं है। अब उनको शुरू होगा इलाज बोले तो हम 12-12:30 को वहां से आ गए। आने के बाद सुबह सुबह एक कांस्टेबल फोन करते 7 बजे कि राशिद अली खान का डेथ हो गया। अरे मतलब सुबह में मिल क्या है रात में 12 बजे? 12 बजे में नहीं इंतकाल हो गया, आप आइए, मैं गांधी स्टेचू के पास बैठा हुआ हूँ, आप आइए, आके मेरे से मिलिए। खैर वहां जाके मिले, आप उसके बाद ठहर जाओ, बॉडी तैयार करते हम, अभी देते। तो आप लोग अपनी तरफ लेके जाते हैं या हम लेके जाना? तो बोला नहीं, हमारे हरवाड़ जो है मुरादनगर में मुराद शाह दूती रहमतुल्लाह अलैह दरगाह शरीफ के पास, वहां पर हम खुदवा लिए, कब्र तैयार कर लिए। अब आ रहे हैं, 2 बजे आ रहे, 1 बजे आ रहे, बोलते बोलते रात के 12 बजे तक भी नहीं आए। बच्चे ठहर ठहर के जाके अंदर पूरे डेड बॉडी चेक कर लिए, आईसीयू रूम में भी चेक कर लिए, ना जिंदों में है उन्होंने, ना डेड बॉडी में है। आखिर गए तो कहाँ गए? रात के 12 बजे तक चेक करे। दुनिया की
हामिद जी, हामिद
के
जी,
बाद
जब आप
बोले
इंतज़ार कर रहे थे तब कोई क्या अस्पताल से कोई आपको कॉल नहीं आया? किसी ने आपको बताया नहीं कि कब कब लेके आएंगे बॉडी को, कब आपके भाई को लेके आएंगे? कुछ खबर नहीं आई? 12 घंटे जब आप रुके हुए थे, कोई खबर नहीं दी अस्पताल ने आपको?
बोले आप ऐसा करो, चले जाओ।
हामिद जी, ये थोड़ी हमारे आपके साथ तकनीकी मुश्किल आ रही है, आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आ पा रही है हमारे तक। हम वापस से आपके साथ जुड़ेंगे, उसको वापस से कनेक्शन को करेंगे आपके साथ। व्यूअर्स, दिस इज़ व्हाट द ब्रदर ऑफ द मैन हु डाइड, of the patient who died, is telling us that they were suddenly told one day, they were given the assurance that the brother will be taken care of, and then they were told that he is no more, that he is passed away. They were told that the body will be handed over to them, and they kept waiting. Then they went searching all across the hospital in various wards with absolutely no clue about where their brother's body had gone. Can you imagine his plight? Today he sits with us and tells this story. But at that point of time, not even being able to get that final closure, not even being able to say a final goodbye to your own brother, and trying to find out where the body went, nobody able to help you. In fact, at one point of time, they had to bring in the police, and the police actually had to carry out an investigation as to what happened. And that is how they discovered that there had been a mix-up at the hospital, and that this body had actually been given, Hamid's brother's mortal remains had actually been handed over to another family. Now, हामिद जी, मैं वापस एक बार कोशिश करती हूँ, अगर आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है. आप हमें बता रहे थे कि okay, we will try and connect with him. We're unable to get through to him. We'll also get you, other stories that we have, similar pain and similar anguish, different cities, but the same kind of chaos leading to same kind of confusion. In fact, if you remember, viewers, we brought you a couple of these stories even yesterday. And today the Supreme Court was forced to come out and ask what is happening in this country. The Supreme Court was actually forced to comment on this and say and ask the question that why are we treating people like animals, and that dead bodies are going missing and families are not being informed about their patients, about the death of the patients. In a case that I will bring to you now, we've even got the family telling us that the hospital actually carried out the final rites, that the mortuary actually sent the body to the cremation ground and the final rites got conducted and the family was never informed. Their entire life, this family is going to wonder, is never going to have that closure of being able to say goodbye to their loved one, all because the hospital or the mortuary was not able or did not inform the family members. This is a story from Wadala in Mumbai. This has happened in Mumbai. And Mayuresh is actually joining me with more details of this story. Mayuresh, how did this happen? What is the family saying? When was the patient admitted in the hospital and when did they find out?
Tanvi, on 11th of May, he was tested positive and BMC shifted the patient as well as his family members to two different places. The patient was shifted to the Balasaheb Thackeray Trauma Center, where the family was shifted to the nearby quarantine center. Till 15th of May, they used to have a word on phone regularly. They used to get the updates from the patient. But all of a sudden, from 16th, there was no contact they could establish with the patient. The family got released on 19th of May from the quarantine center, and after that they started making calls regarding their patient, how he is and where exactly he is, but they couldn't get any such information. After 4 days, they decided to file or we can say submit a complaint to the police station for the missing. When they reached the police station, especially the mother along with the few local people, when she reached the police station, that time she got to know that her son is no more, and authorities have already cremated him on 18th of May. So the family is asking the same question, that why didn't authorities inform us? The BMC has come up with a clarification. They have clearly said that we had informed the police. Police had also gone to their house and they did try their best to establish the contact, but they couldn't establish the contact. So on the 18th of May, they handed over the mortal remains to the police, and further police did the cremation. So certainly, if the family members were in the quarantine center of a BMC or controlled by the BMC, then how can they say that they couldn't establish the contact with the family? That's really shocking and unacceptable.
Yes, absolutely. And, I don't understand, Mayuresh, how is it that the authorities are saying that the police went to their house when nobody in the family was informed about the fact that he's passed away? And what is the procedure here in Mumbai? How long are the authorities supposed to wait before they actually, carry out the final rites for unclaimed dead bodies?
So after a patient dies, within 30 minutes, authorities basically start the procedures of all the procedures. They start including the wrapping of the mortal remains and send it to the mortuary. And from that moment only, they inform, the hospital authority inform the local police station or the police authorities. Then it's a job of a local police station to inform inform the news about the sad demise of the relatives to the parents or to the patient's relative. And once the patient's relative receives the body, after that, it is the duty of police as well as the dedicated BMC team to go along with the relatives and cremate it. So my simple question is that which even family asked. They were in a BMC quarantine center. They were having, when you get admission into any quarantine center, you have to give them address as well as the contact details. When you know that the entire family have been shifted to the nearby quarantine center, on what basis BMC is claiming that the police could not establish any contact when the all the details were there with the BMC? So it is very shocking and unacceptable, which I said. And though police may say or the BMC may say that we had followed the protocols, but we can see that there is a flaw in this protocol which they followed. When the people were already in the quarantine center, they were even the authorities were aware of it, that where exactly they are. Why did they do this? No one has the answer.
Well, that is really unfortunate, and in a city like Mumbai, if this is happening, imagine what happens in other parts of our country. Imagine what happens in towns like Jalgaon, where in one civic hospital, case after case has emerged, just going on to show how the system is just not ready to handle any kind of load. Mayuresh, thanks for joining us. And this is the story. I just want to bring it to a notice of our viewers one more time. This is the story we got for you yesterday, where a 60-year-old woman died waiting for a bed. She waited for 6 hours before she was given a bed and treatment began. By then it was too late. And in the same family, their grandmother, who was an 82-year-old woman, was also admitted, both COVID patients. The grandmother went missing. And for 8 days, the hospital had no answers about the patient. The family didn't know what had happened to the patient, what had happened to their grandmother. 8 days later, when the body started decomposing in the toilet and the foul smell emerged, that is when the hospital authorities discovered it. The patient had gone to the toilet, died there, and nobody realized for 8 straight days. Now, what does this show as far as our system is concerned? I have two special guests who are joining me this evening who have great amount of experience when it comes to our healthcare system. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman of Nephron Clinics, and Dr. Mahesh Chandra Mishra, former Director of AIIMS with us. Dr. Mishra, let me start with you. I mean, it's a known fact that our civic body hospitals or government hospitals are always overburdened. They're always in a challenge when it comes to managing them. But this is now actually crossing all kinds of boundaries. If we start mixing up dead bodies and if we start losing our patients, then it just goes on to say that we can't take any more load.
Tanvi, this is sheer negligence, sheer unpreparedness on the part of administration. This is happening when we have a low death rate. If we had the death rate, what Italy had seen, 800,000 deaths a day, I don't know what India would do and where we will escape. Naturally, there is complete lack of preparedness on the protocol, procedure, SOPs, dealing with this COVID, except creating beds. Nothing else has been in place. We saw a report from LNJP. You saw your report from Jalgaon. A patient smell tells you that somebody has died. This is not acceptable. This is horrifying stories, and I think those who are responsible must be taken to task, and there has to be a task force to deal with this kind of a situation in every hospital. They can get people to help if they do not have enough people, but they cannot hide behind overloading. Even in this situation, when somebody has died, that means there is no digitization of the records, there is no death being reported properly, and this is something minimum which is expected from any healthcare facility, government or private. So there is no excuse, and I think these matters must be severely dealt with. We cannot accept, and this is sheer negligence on the part of hospital administrations of these hospitals, and they must be made accountable and answerable why these things are happening. And so that they don't happen. At least pandemic, we have to see it is not going to end now. It is now building up, and we'll see more disturbing data in coming days, coming weeks, coming months. So
Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, would you agree that at this point at least, with less than 10,000 deaths in our country, this should not be the situation if we can't even provide this basic dignity to the dead in our country?
Absolutely, Tanvi. Good evening, everyone. I think this is just a complete crush of humanity. If you look at it in a rational manner, the lockdown was actually initiated for what? For preparedness. It was not to get rid of the virus. We all know it. And if you really look into our souls, we are treating bodies either with a bed number or an inanimate object to be thrown before or after death. That's not nice. That's not nice. I think it's a failure of the local administration as far as the governance is concerned. I think it's a failure of the local administration of the hospital is concerned. And very, very unfortunately, the complete brunt of this is felt by the individual doctors who are working with a lot of dedication, with endless hours treating patients. But I must add that, we knew that we are going to be in this terrible tempest. And we know that there are going to be infinite probabilities. But we can't gag doctors. We can't throw science underneath the carpet. It's like running a chariot with one horse and the wheels are falling apart. What happened to the SOPs? Do we have enough number of skilled manpower? That is doctors, nurses, technicians, and admin staff. A mere creation of a bed to say we will need X amount of beds by end of June, by 15th of July, or by 30th of July is insufficient, isn't it? And the complete bastion of all what we have spoken about is being ruptured now. It can still be salvaged. I think we need to take this on a war footing. We need to be very sincere and conscious to ourselves and to all the patients which we are seeing. The doctors are, but we need a lot of help from the local administration. A doctor is a very small piece in the clog in a complete wheel. I think we need to reinvent ourselves now. We are in a huge tempest right now. The numbers are going to escalate in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Probably the peak will come by end of this month. We can't take this lightly. Holding accountability and doing post-mortem on the system is one aspect. But our system and processes must be in place. That was the purpose of the lockdown, preparedness.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, and if we are crumbling at this stage itself with just these, these number of deaths, I shudder to think tomorrow when the cases spike and if things worsen from here as some of the states are expecting it, then what will happen? And we have to think about the fact that each of this incident leaves lives, an entire family, and group of people, their loved ones, completely scarred for life. Something that they will never be able to forget. And that's what we're doing, family after family. A story, in fact, that I just wanted to tell our viewers also that came from Hyderabad viewers, and this actually happened in the month of May when things weren't even as grim as they are today in many parts of our country, including in Hyderabad. There was this lady who herself was a COVID patient. She was hospitalized, unable to get in touch with her husband who was also a COVID patient. And nobody was giving her any information about her husband, to the point where she actually started to tweet, and she tagged Chief Minister's son, K.T. Rama Rao, asking about her missing husband. And at some point, finally, when she repeatedly kept seeking help, somebody responded to her on Twitter. The hospital responded to her on Twitter saying, "Your husband is no more." And because nobody claimed his dead body, he has been laid to rest. Now, what kind of an organized registry system do we have in our country, where patients who are getting admitted, their records are nowhere to be found, and hospitals and mortuaries are simply then carrying out the final rites, cremating, burying these bodies? If you remember, there was a story, and Dr. Bagai will remember because he was with us when that story emerged, came in from Delhi as well, in LNJP hospital, where 2 people with the same name died in the same hospital, and the hospital mixed up their bodies and gave the wrong dead bodies to the families. And in one case, the family even went ahead and carried out the final rites, because as you know, with COVID patients, the mortal remains are actually handed over in an extremely covered format and completely covered, so that there is no fear or possibility of an infection spread, which is what is just making this situation even worse. I want to go across to another guest who is joining us right now. Mr. Alam is with us. आलम जी के साथ भी कुछ ऐसा ही हुआ. उनका भी जो उनकी अभी ये जो स्टोरी है वो दिल्ली की है, LNJP हॉस्पिटल से जुड़ी हुई है. उनके फादर यहाँ पे एडमिटेड थे और फिर जब उनकी मौत हो गई तो पूरा वहाँ पे गड़बड़ हुई. और आलम जी हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं, वही हमें बताएंगे कि आपको कब पता चला, अस्पताल वालों ने आपको कब बताया कि उनकी अब वो नहीं रहे, और आपको कब मिली उनकी बॉडी?
मैम 10 अप्रैल को मैंने एडमिट कराए थे और 10 अप्रैल को एडमिट कराने के बाद में 12 और 13 तारीख में मैंने बात करी थी अपने पिताजी से, तो वो बोले मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ इस टाइम. तो मेरा बेटा आना जाना करता था हॉस्पिटल का, एक दिन बीच करके डेली जाता था. पिताजी के पास उन्होंने किसी को नहीं रुकने दिया वहाँ पे अंदर. तो मेरे बेटे को बाहर ही समझा के भेजते थे कि वो ठीक हैं आपके दादाजी. 12-13 में जब बात हुई तो 14 तारीख की सुबह में मैंने फ़ोन किया उनको, तो फ़ोन स्विच ऑफ गया. 14 तारीख के बाद में मेरी कोई बात नहीं हुई. मेरा बेटा चक्कर लगाता रहा डेली और मेरे बेटे को तसल्ली देते रहे वो कि आप. और 14 को गया, 16 तारीख को गया, फिर 18 को गया. डेली एक दिन बीच करके चक्कर लगाता रहा, डेली तसल्ली देते रहे मेरे को वो कि बिल्कुल ठीक है वो, आप टेंशन मत लीजिए. और 25 तारीख लास्ट डेट में जब गया वो, तो मेरे बेटे को बोला गया कि आपके दादाजी ठीक हैं, 27 तारीख को छुट्टी हो जाएगी उनकी, ले जाना. क्योंकि 25 तारीख को शनिवार था, तो 27 तारीख को बोले 27 तारीख को ले जाना, छुट्टी हो जाएगी. तो मेरा बेटा हॉस्पिटल से वापस आया, घर भी नहीं पहुंचा था, तो मेरे बेटे को हॉस्पिटल से फ़ोन आता है कि आपके दादा की डेट हो गई है. तो मेरा बेटा बोला मैं तो अभी हॉस्पिटल से जा ही रहा हूँ, घर पर रास्ते में ही हूँ. मेरे को बोला गया कि 27 तारीख को छुट्टी हो जाएगी, ठीक है, और आप कॉल कर रहे हो मेरे को कि डेड बॉडी ले जाना कल लाके. तो मेरा बेटा फिर मेरे को घर पर आके बताया. मैंने फिर रात में ही फिर भेजा उसको. मैंने कि बेटे देख, दोबारा जाके पता निकाल किसी और की डेड बॉडी के लिए कभी कॉल आई हो. तो रात में मेरे बेटे को बोल दिया रात में कोई बात नहीं होगी, कल लाके डेड बॉडी ले जाना, स्टाफ नहीं है अभी. फिर मैंने सुबह 7 बजे फिर भेजा उसको. 2 जने गए थे. तो वहाँ का जो पुलिस प्रशासन है इमरजेंसी में रहता है, तो उस पुलिस स्टाफ से मेरे बेटे ने बात करी कि भाई 27 तारीख को मेरे दादा के लिए बोला गया था, बिल्कुल ठीक है, छुट्टी हो जाएगी उनकी, और उनकी डेड बॉडी के लिए अब तुरंत फ़ोन कर दिया 1 घंटे बाद ही. तो डेड बॉडी कहाँ है, वो किस वजह से उनकी मौत हुई, मेरे को जानकारी चाहिए. पुलिस वाला अंदर गया इमरजेंसी के अंदर, उसने कुछ भी आकर नहीं बोला कि हम इस बारे में नहीं कह सकते कुछ भी, कि आप अंदर जाके बात कीजिए. अंदर वो घुसने नहीं दे रहे थे किसी को भी. और फिर मेरा बेटा मोर्चेरी में जाके देखा तो उसमें जो स्टिकर चिपका रखा था उनकी डेड बॉडी पे, तो उसमें 14 अप्रैल की डेट दे रखी थी. 14 तारीख को वो ख़त्म हो चुके थे. और मेरा बेटा 25 तारीख में लास्ट डेट में जब फ़ोन आया तब मोर्चेरी में जाके देख रहा है कि 14 तारीख की डेट हो चुकी है उनकी. और हमको 25 तारीख तक बताते रहे कि ठीक है वो बिल्कुल. तो उसकी हमें आज तक हमने हॉस्पिटल में भी ईमेल किया है जवाब मांगने के लिए. इसकी जांच चाहिए हमें, किस वजह से उनकी मौत हुई, डेड बॉडी क्यों छुपा के रखी गई हमारे पिताजी की. और सतिंदर जैन को भी मैंने ईमेल किया हुआ है. 3-4 जगह मैंने दिल्ली में बड़े बड़े अधिकारियों को ईमेल पे दिया हुआ है, अभी तक उसका कोई जवाब नहीं हुआ है, ना हॉस्पिटल से कोई खबर मिली. मैंने 27 तारीख को डेड बॉडी लेने के बाद 100 नंबर को कॉल भी करी थी मैंने वहाँ से उसके बावजूद भी कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई, ना ही आज तक कोई जवाब मिला। एक फोन था उनके पास, वो भी गायब है वहां से, और 4-5 हजार रुपए उनके पॉकेट में थे जो हमने रखे हुए थे, वो भी गायब कर दिए गए, जो कि आज तक उसका कोई जवाब नहीं मिला हमें।
और
हेलो?
इसके बारे में कोई जांच पड़ताल नहीं हुई? वहाँ की पुलिस ने कोई जांच नहीं करी आलम जी?
कुछ
कि
भी
इतने
जांच
दिन
नहीं करी।
उन्होंने आपको बताया
पीसीआर की
नहीं?
कॉल आई थी, 27 तारीख को कॉल करी थी पीसीआर को, तो पीसीआर वाले आए हमारे पास, हमने उनको अपनी घटना बताई, वो अंदर गए। अंदर जाने के बाद तुरंत वो अपने स्टाफ से मिल मिला के हमको लीपा पोती करके बता दिया कि जाइए, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता, आपको 14 तारीख में ही बता दिया गया था आपके थाने वालों को। मेरा थाना पड़ता है किराड़ी विधानसभा प्रेमनगर थाना, और मैंने अपने यहाँ एसएचओ साहब
जी
से आके मिला,
जी
तो एसएचओ साहब बोले इसमें हमारा कोई रोल नहीं है, वो हॉस्पिटल वाले ही जाने, आप इसमें हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
कोई भी कोई मदद नहीं कर पाया आपकी, ना पुलिस कर पाई, ना सरकार कर पाई, और जो 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 आपको और आपकी पूरी फैमिली को देखना पड़ा, वो उसमें तो अब कोई भी मदद नहीं कर पाया। आलम जी, ये मैं समझ सकती हूँ कितनी बड़ी चीज़ है ये कि आपके पिताजी के साथ ये हुआ, और आप उनको देख भी नहीं पाए, 10 दिन तक आपको बताया भी नहीं किसी ने। डॉक्टर मिश्रा, shouldn't there be some kind of action in such cases? I mean, I know maybe it sounds like a big ask, ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है जो शायद मैं जो पूछ रही हूँ अभी आपसे, कि ऐसे केसेस में कोई एक्शन क्यों नहीं लेता हॉस्पिटल्स के अगेंस्ट, क्योंकि अब तो ये हालत आ गई है कि हॉस्पिटल्स को अता पता ही नहीं है कि कौन जिंदा है कौन मर रहा है।
जैसे डॉक्टर बगई ने भी कहा, मैंने पहले भी कहा कि ये अगर हम इसको आज गंभीरता से नहीं लेंगे तो ये और ज्यादा दिक्कत होने वाली है आने वाले समय में। और इसमें कोई बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करना, कम्युनिकेशन, और एक सेपरेट आप एक टास्क फोर्स हॉस्पिटल में गठित कर दें और उससे कम्युनिकेशन साधें। ये तन्वी, ये तो कोविड का मामला था, ये बाकी मरीजों के साथ भी ये हो रहा है आज हॉस्पिटल्स में। एक द्वारका में है वेंकटेश्वर हॉस्पिटल, वहां पे एक मेरे रिलेटिव एडमिट हुए हार्ट प्रॉब्लम के साथ, और उनका मोबाइल भी नहीं उनको ले जाने दिया, उनको एडमिट कर दिया, उनके बेटे को कुछ पता ही नहीं है क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ। तो ये हॉस्पिटल्स ठीक नहीं कर रहे हैं। अगर आप जिम्मेदारी ले रहे हैं, और ये तो प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल था, तो मैंने कहा भाई ऐसे नहीं कर सकता हॉस्पिटल, आप जाके कहिए कि उनसे या तो मिलवाएं, क्योंकि उनका कोविड टेस्ट की रिपोर्ट नहीं आई थी। तो अब हर आदमी थोड़ी कोविड से पॉजिटिव है। तो ये हॉस्पिटल्स ओवर कॉशियस होने के वजह से ये कम्युनिकेशन गैप पैदा कर रहे हैं खुद। अगर ये ठीक से वहां पे एक किसी को इंचार्ज बना दें जो पेशेंट से और रिलेटिव्स के बीच में एक संपर्क रखेगा, जिसको जो ब्रिज होगा, और उसकी ड्यूटी चाहे 4 घंटे पे बदलते रहे, 6 घंटे पे बदलते रहे, ये करना पड़ेगा इनको आने वाले समय में, जिससे कि ये जो मामले आए हैं सामने, ये बहुत ही भयानक है। मैं समझता हूँ ये किसी के लिए भी बहुत डिस्टर्बिंग है, किसी के परिवार के लिए भी। और ये नेग्लिजेंस है एक तरह की, कि जिसमें आप बच्चे को बताते रहे कि 10 दिन तक कि तुम्हारे बाबा ठीक हो रहे हैं, ये तुम्हारे, और उसके बाद आप एक सडनली फोन करते हैं कि नहीं वो तो 14 तारीख को ही खत्म हो गए थे। ये क्या है? इसको कैसे एक्सेप्ट किया जा सकता है? मैं समझता हूँ इसमें अकाउंटेबिलिटी जरूर होनी चाहिए, और जहां पे भी अगर उनको लोगों की कमी है किसी भी तरह से कम्युनिकेशन करने, एक कम्युनिकेशन हम कहते हैं हॉस्पिटल में सबसे बड़ा एक इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स की, हम लोग वर्कशॉप करते हैं इसीलिए, और आज वो कहीं पे दिखाई नहीं पड़ रही है। कोई एसओपी नहीं बनी हुई है कि अगर पेशेंट की मौत होगी तो क्या होगा, उसके साथ कैसे इन्फॉर्म करेंगे, और पेशेंट को एटलीस्ट दिन में 1 बार 2 बार फोन करके कह दो कि भाई तुम्हारा, और बात करा दें वहां पे जो वार्ड में नर्सेज है, किसी की भी एक की ड्यूटी लगाई जा सकती है। इसका मैकेनिज्म निकालना कोई बहुत मुश्किल काम नहीं है। ये सिर्फ एपैथी है कि लोगों को फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा ये सब हो रहा है लोगों के साथ। ये जस्ट हमारी एक एपैथी दिखाता है कि किस तरह से ये हम किसी के बारे में कोई चिंता नहीं है कि लोग मर रहे हैं, जी रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है। ये इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया जा सकता। हम बड़े बड़े वादे क्या करेंगे जब ये बेसिक काम नहीं हो पा रहा है। तो ये बहुत ही डिस्टर्बिंग सारे आपने जो 10 केसेस दिखाए हैं और कितने होंगे जो आपकी लाइट पे नहीं आए हैं, इसको रोकना पड़ेगा। इसका कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है, इसको रोकना ही पड़ेगा।
जी, कैसे रोके इसको डॉक्टर बगाई, इसको कैसे रोके? आप भी और डॉक्टर मिश्रा भी ये कह रहे हैं कि एक बहुत साधारण सा प्रोसेस है, ये नहीं होनी चाहिए चीज़, इंसिडेंट्स बिल्कुल भी होने की मतलब कोई गुंजाइश ही नहीं है इस समय में जब इतनी कम डेथ्स हैं हमारे देश में। तो ये सिस्टम कैसे बदले? क्या लोग जो हैं वो, उनको आदत हो गई है ये सब देखने की, अब पड़ी नहीं है, रोज़ इतने केसेस देखते हैं, रोज़ डेथ्स होती हैं, इसलिए अब उन्होंने इसके बारे में केयर करना छोड़ दिया है, किसी का डर नहीं रहा है? कैसे ये बदलाव लाया जाए डॉक्टर बगाई?
Well said, actually, Tanvi. This is, you see, these dysfunctional policies are completely baffling. On one hand, you keep building the bed capacity, and the beds are there on paper, but they are not there in reality. So we call them as phantom beds. They just vanish, and now patient bodies are vanishing. I mean, this is a joke. I think this is the basics of hospital admin, in which you have various kinds of admin positions. It's extremely important not to throw caution to the wind. I mean, one thing is to get your records digitalized and move towards more advanced way of managing things. But these are fundamentals. These are basics. We cannot throw the concept into the dustbin and say that, it just so happened. I think there should be a nodal officer appointed for each hospital. There is a stock taking at the morning. There should be a review in the afternoon. There should be a review in the evening. And what Dr. Mishra said, I agree so much with him. I think we really need empathy. We need to reach out to the relatives who are in pain, who are suffering. The patient is suffering. And a patient is not merely a bed number. A patient is not a diagnosis. A patient is a human being. The patient is a soul. The relatives are there. They're all precious lives. Now we keep talking of lifestyles and we've forgotten life itself. This is not fair. I think a lot needs to be done at the local levels. This is again a wake-up call. I still feel that a lot of situations can be salvaged even at this stage. We need system and processes. We need discipline. We need accountability. If we are not ruthlessly honest to ourselves, how are we going to be honest to the patient, and how are we going to be honest to the system? The junior doctors are in the forefront. Please remember, they are young students who are in the forefront. The hospital administration has to support them. One person cannot do everything. Each person has to do his part. But it is now that we need to do it, or it will be never.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I think, and the only reason we are bringing out these stories is for the authorities to know what's going on and the pain that people are going through because of this. आलम जी, इससे पहले कि मैं आपको धन्यवाद बोलूँ और शुक्रिया बोलूँ हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, बस एक चीज़ और, आज आप हमारे साथ हैं और जो आपने और आपकी फैमिली ने, आपके परिवार ने देखा, उससे अगर कोई आप मैसेज देना चाहे सरकार को, जो लोग आज आपको देख रहे हैं, आपको सुन रहे हैं यहाँ मिरर नाउ पे, अगर आप कोई एक उनके लिए मैसेज देना चाहे तो कहिए।
मैम, मैं ये चाहता हूँ जो मेरे पिताजी के साथ हुआ ऐसा किसी और के साथ ना हो और इसकी जांच कराई जाए। मेरे को बहुत बड़ा दुख है इस बात का। मेरे सही सलामत पिताजी को इन्होंने ऐसी घटना करने के बाद भी नहीं बताया मेरे को। मैं इसकी जांच चाहता हूँ, किस वजह से उनकी मौत हुई, जबकि 12 और 13 तारीख में मेरी बात हुई है। वो कह रहे कि मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ और जब 14 तारीख को वो खत्म हो गए। तो मैं इसकी जांच चाहता हूँ दिल्ली सरकार से, इसका मुझे जवाब चाहिए किस वजह से मौत हुई उनकी, क्योंकि वो कोरोना पॉजिटिव भी नहीं थे, निगेटिव थे।
जी, जी आलम जी, हमें उम्मीद है और हम यही उम्मीद करेंगे कि आपकी आवाज़ मेरा राव के थ्रू सरकार तक जाए, दिल्ली सरकार तक जाए और सत्येंद्र जैन जी के तक जाए और इसका जवाब आपको मिले। हम भी पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि आपको इतना तो पता चले कि क्या हुआ वो 10 दिन और क्यों नहीं अस्पताल ने आपको बताया और किस कारण से आपके पिताजी आज नहीं हैं आपके साथ। धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए और हमसे बात करने के लिए। Heartbreaking viewers, just take a moment to think about this. What Alam is going through today and his entire family, they don't know what happened to his father. How did he suddenly overnight pass away? And why didn't the hospital tell him for 10 days? Why did they keep misleading the entire family? No answers. He is not the only one seeking answers tonight. Case after case that is emerging shows you this reality. And in many cases, I don't even know if the system is so broken. Who do you blame? Who do you question? There was a visual and a story that we got from Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh, viewers. Here, a patient who had come to the hospital and collapsed in front of the hospital had not tested positive for COVID yet, but there were fears that he may have had COVID, because of which nobody wanted to touch his dead body, because of which even the ambulance service provider and the driver who were available, who were called, refused to take away his dead body, to the point where then you could see in the visuals the sanitation workers had to put his body in a garbage van and send it across to the mortuary. All of this happened in presence of the police. Imagine the police is standing there and no ambulance is willing to deal with the dead body because they don't know if that was a COVID patient. In another case, and this one again comes from Maharashtra, a family with no support system, with nowhere to go, nobody to help them, to tell them what to do, was told to deal with the dead body of their loved one by themselves, and that the hospital really doesn't have any idea what they should do, where they should go, how they should take the body, where can they get help, where can they get an ambulance to take him to the cremation ground or the burial ground or even the mortuary. The patient died because oxygen was not available in that hospital, because support services were not available. Now, senior officials of this hospital have been suspended, but that's not going to take away the trauma that this family had to go through. I want to move on and get you another story again from Maharashtra, and this one is from Mumbai itself. An 80-year-old patient was admitted in a hospital here in Mumbai. However, a few days later, the authorities informed the family that the patient had gone missing. On 8th of June, the family was told that the patient has gone missing, that the hospital authorities can't find the patient, an 80-year-old patient. And then they found a dead body of an elderly citizen at the railway station. And further investigation revealed that it was that family's relative who had gone missing. The family obviously completely lost as to how this happened, how somebody who was in the hospital was found dead outside the hospital on the tracks. Let me see if I can go across to Rajan Mulye. Rajan Mulye, in fact, is the grandson of the citizen who passed away. Rajan ji, बहुत दुख है कि जो आपके और आपके फैमिली को देखना पड़ रहा है आज और जो हुआ है. I'm sorry for your loss. But if you can share with us what happened, कैसे हुआ ये और कैसे आपको फिर पता चला कि वो हॉस्पिटल में नहीं बाहर है?
एक्चुअली मैंने उनको सैटरडे हॉस्पिटलाइज किया था. उनकी तबीयत बहुत खराब थी. मैंने सैटरडे को उनको हॉस्पिटलाइज किया कोविड का टेस्ट करके प्राइवेट में. उसके बाद मैंने उनको हॉस्पिटलाइज करने के बाद मैं उनका संडे को रिपोर्ट पॉजिटिव हुआ. हम लोग संडे मॉर्निंग में हम लोग को क्वारंटाइन किया. उसके बाद मंडे को 8:30 को फोन हॉस्पिटल से कि आपका पेशेंट बेड पे नहीं है. तो मैंने 8:30 सब स्क्रूटिनी किया, चेकिंग किया, सीसीटीवी फुटेज चेक किया, पूरा शताब्दी हॉस्पिटल में चेकिंग किया. फिर भी मुझे कुछ पता नहीं चला हॉस्पिटल से. तो मैंने हॉस्पिटल से बोला कि एक कोविड पेशेंट हॉस्पिटल से बाहर कैसे जा सकता है. तो उन्होंने सब आर्ग्यूमेंट करने लगे कि ये हमारी गलती नहीं है, हम लोग के पास बहुत सारे पेशेंट रहते हैं, हम लोग कहाँ पे चेकिंग करेंगे। तो बाद में सब स्क्रूटिनी करने के बाद बाजू वाले पेशेंट जो बेड पे था उसे पता चला कि ते आपके दादाजी सुबह 5 बजे से बेड पे नहीं है। तो बाद में सब स्क्रूटिनी करने के बाद पता चला कि 5 बजे वो हॉस्पिटल से निकल गए। 7 to 7:30 के बीच में उनका एक्सीडेंट हुआ और मेरे दादाजी का बॉडी जो है वो शताब्दी हॉस्पिटल में ही था। और शताब्दी हॉस्पिटल ने हम लोग को इन्फॉर्म ही नहीं किया। 8:30 बाद वो कॉल करके बोलते हैं कि आपका पेशेंट 20 मिनट से बेड पे नहीं है। मतलब एक्चुअली डेथ 5 बजे निकल गए, 7 to 7:30 के बीच में उनका डेथ हो गया। डेथ के बाद उनका बॉडी 8 बजे हॉस्पिटल पहुंचा और बाद में 8:40 को कॉल करके बोलते हैं कि पेशेंट 20 मिनट से बेड पे नहीं है। तो पता नहीं कि ये कोविड पेशेंट एक कोविड वार्ड के बाहर जा कैसे सकता है और जाके फिर कांदिवली स्टेशन में जाके उनका एक्सीडेंट कैसे हो सकता है या फिर सुसाइड केस कैसे हो सकता है। हेलो।
अभी तक कुछ एक्शन लिया गया है? पुलिस ने कोई मतलब इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया? कैसे वो चले गए? अस्पताल वालों की कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स हुई है इसमें?
नहीं मैम, एक्चुअली मैंने सब न्यूज़ पे जब पता चला कि ऐसा ऐसा है तो फिर किरीट सोमा है, उन्होंने मुझे हेल्प किया, उन्होंने बताया सब, उन्होंने केस वेस किया फाइल। तो जो हमारी आयुक्ता है मतलब खास इसकी किशोरी पेडनेकर, उन्होंने उनसे भी बात होगी उनकी। तो उन्होंने आज राज्यपाल से मीटिंग भी करवाया था। अभी देखते अभी कितना कब जाता है या फिर या फिर हॉस्पिटल पे कुछ कार्रवाई होती है या उस पे सिक्योरिटी पे कार्रवाई होती है या नहीं होती।
जी, उम्मीद है कि आपको कुछ तो इसमें न्याय मिले। अब दादाजी तो नहीं आ पाएंगे वापस, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था बिल्कुल भी आपके और आपकी फैमिली के साथ। और हमारी यही उम्मीद है कि जब आप आज आके यहाँ पे हमसे बात करें, आई होप दैट द अथॉरिटीज़ आर लिसनिंग टू यू एंड आई होप दैट देयर इज जस्टिस डन एंड पीपल हु इन द हॉस्पिटल हु आर अकाउंटेबल फॉर दिस आर एक्चुअली हेल्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबल। थैंक यू सो मच मिस्टर राजन मुल्ले फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस। Very quickly, if I can just go back to our experts also and ask this question, Dr. Mishra, just one more time. I know we've spoken about it, but what is the process, especially when it comes to somebody who's in a hospital being treated? Their records should exist. If they pass away, then what is the process even for the dead body?
The process is that the patient is in a ward on a bed, and nurses keep that record, and if patient disappears even for a short while, they inform the doctors, and if patient dies, then that certificate is made, and then the body is taken by the hospital attendant to the mortuary and it is basically the records are on a register. He gets this dead body received in the mortuary, from where the relatives collect the dead body, and that record finally by the hospital administration is sent to the municipal corporation subsequently following day or few days later. So that is the normal procedure, and naturally in all these cases those normal procedures were not followed. People did not pay attention, like somebody dying in a bathroom and being there for 8 days, and when only smell came out, that was discovered. So it is just sheer negligence, apathy on the part of hospital administration. They have not put any SOP in place, no procedure to help the wards where doctors are struggling with a lot of things, who are looking after the patient. But after somebody has died, that's the responsibility of the hospital administration to make some robust policy that even in crisis, even in disaster situations, that should not happen. And we have handled a lot of disasters, the bomb blast in Delhi. It's not that these things don't happen. Suddenly, the 65 bodies are brought to the hospital.
Right.
So, if the things are put in right perspective, everything is possible, and we cannot hide behind that more number of cases. That should not happen. You take your time, but then you have to follow the procedure. You have to maintain record.
Right.
We are in technology. India is said to be technology hub. Where is the technology here we are seeing? There's nowhere any technology is being seen. So no video and now even video conferencing from the relatives every day and on WhatsApp or whatever, why can't it be done so that they are reassured? If you are not letting them meet because if somebody is COVID positive, at least some mechanism has to be
Dr.
there.
Mishra, in
the
some of the
wards.
hospitals, things are so bad, and we brought some of those stories, Mr. Mishra, where the patients are actually reaching out to their family members and friends and relatives, saying that nobody's coming to even see me, nobody's even coming to check me, to tell me about my treatment. I need oxygen, but nobody's attending to me.
That's right.
And I shudder to think the plight of those family members who are outside because they can't go in, and they are constantly just trying to get through the hospital authorities and not getting anywhere. Because the hospital authorities either are overburdened or just don't care. I don't know what's going wrong, but I think this needs to be a wake-up call. These stories that are emerging from every part of our country, viewers, this should not be happening at this stage. This is exactly why we went into a lockdown, so that we can prepare ourselves, organize ourselves, so when things get tough, we know how to handle them. We cannot afford to have so many lives lost and so many families destroyed and scarred forever. I'm going to thank our panelists for joining us. Mirror Now will continue to bring you these stories because this is the reality. Statistics can show you what they want, but even if we have a low mortality rate, but this is how we are treating those deaths and those families, then somewhere we are failing as a country. Somewhere our humanity has died. Thank you for joining us on this debate.